Makako. My name is Jennifer Schwartz Belgray. In November 2022, I organized the first TEDx event on Kauai, and it was the first TED event in the state of Hawaii in 6 years. The theme, the power of positive thinking. And I did this with co-organizer Jennifer Beck. Big mahalo to our speakers, our sponsors, our audience. And our volunteers.
Hey ho mai, hey ho mai, hey ho mai. Hey ho mai kai ke mai luna mai e. Before time, before any of us, there was the great grandparents, the beautiful grandparents. And they were in the form of the great octopus, the he'e, the fe'e. And when they traveled connected with their arms wrapped around each other, wrapped around their arms. And as they traveled, the eho mai, come to me, the earth, the blue pearl. And as they felt the call in their na'au, their being, their knowing, they realized they had found their home. And as they danced and floated in the dream of all of this.
It was wonderful to see the power of our community come together with the intention of sharing our time, our efforts, and our stories. Kumuhula Punakalama Dawson opened the event, giving her talk, followed by Kumu Sabra Kauka, two revered Hawaiian cultural practitioners on Kauai, and their message of the power of aloha set the tone with wisdom, grace, and the message of peace and malama for our island home.
Aloha begins with you as individuals. Aloha begins with your essence, that idea or that thought. We live here on the island of Kauai, and this is a place of instant manifestation. In that word, aloha, when we take the time to love ourselves, appreciate ourselves, it's not being selfish, it's being responsible. When we take the time to understand that every single person who is in our lives, we often forget to acknowledge.
The ha, as she explained, is the breath of life. So if you put your hand above your mouth and exhale, that is your ha, that is your breath of life. And so when you see many Hawaiians, and we haven't been able to do so for these last 2.5 years or so because of COVID, but the traditional greeting is to touch foreheads, touch noses, and inhale, and to share the ha, the breath of life.
Brittany Freilander flew from Oahu. The 2022 Miss Philippines Hawaii, flexing her superpowers in her role working to merge science and the arts for the advancement of women and girls in science and technology careers for the 21st century.
Many may not realize this, but some careers only account for 6.2% of U.S. employment. Women in science only account for 29% of those fields, and that by exposing students, and especially young girls, to the fields of science, we are helping women reach parity in STEM fields for the future. During my time as Miss Philippines, I was approached by STEM outreaches on companies who normally don't have pageant girls ambassador their brands.
Amanda Blackwell, reciting her journey to body self-acceptance after her time in the professional figure skating arena.
I grew up on the ice as a figure skater, with hopes and dreams of going to the Olympics to be just like my hero, Christy Yamaguchi. Figure skating ultimately made me into the person I am today. It undoubtedly made me a better person. It taught me the value of work ethic, gave me qualities in my arsenal like resilience, tenacity, grit. And without sounding too cliche, the power of getting up after I fall, time and time again.
Patricia Westonhausen shared her wisdom from her experiences at the front line of suicide prevention on Kauai, and sharing her message of the importance of destigmatizing mental health.
Even while it was a big part of my job to help other people, I couldn't even seem to help myself. At the time, I told myself that I should be grateful. I was lucky to have a roof over my head, a loving family, and a job. So I had nothing to complain about. And it wasn't until years later when I was teaching a suicide prevention training that I found the words to sum up what I had felt and said them out loud. It wasn't that I had nothing, it's that I felt that I was nothing.
Casey Blatz from Oahu reminded us to take time to tap into our inner light and childlike joy to help us realign with ways to live intentionally and with joy.
I changed my major. I started studying things that I felt intense joy with. I moved to Hawaii and surrounded myself with inspiring people.
Meryl Abrams took us on her journey of near drowning near the Samoan Islands, metaphorically illustrating how capable we are if we found our core strength and do what it takes to come through on the other side of a seemingly impossible task.
I always thought that positive thinking was a way of looking at the world saying that you could do whatever you wanted. If you wanted to become a president, you could be. If you wanted to become an astronaut and go to Mars, you could become one. With a little bit of positive thinking and some hard work, you could do whatever you set your mind to do. My own personal aspirations have not been quite that big, however. And that July morning in 1980, all I really wanted to do was step foot on the island of Minnesota. So I set out with some positive thinking, feeling very good about myself.
Cary Valentine shared his personal experiences with hardship, ultimately finding a way to use self-doubt as a leverage point to free oneself from limiting beliefs.
You can either get swamped up by the island of closed doors, or you can really stay up on the island of and the journey is to be equipped to be able to deal with the two differences. But if you're not, it can be a really challenging place. And so with that, I was the king, my own version of the island of closed doors. And I stayed there for many, many years. See, I was a shy, sensitive kid.
Rachel Secretario found her classroom experience of helping children learn to trust the process of creating something fun and creative, reminding us how fun can be a driver of action and trust.
And you're gonna splash, splash, make those flamingos dance, make them splash. You guys say it with me, you're gonna go like this, Zaza! Zaza! You're gonna say go, 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 yes! Go, 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 yes! Yes! We're having a really good time. That class went through, I don't know what I'm doing. I have fear of failure. I hate art. I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody's judging me. Somebody's looking at me too. Zaza, yeah, there was tremendous cheer. It was fun. I hear, I'm having a really good time. I love art.
Dr. Elise Adu Poliov wrapped up the night with a personal recount of her cancer diagnosis and her realization of the significance that words can have on an outcome, calling us to reframe the word cancer to include the possibility for more hope and healing. She suggested we choose a word that conjures up a vision of our natural immune response to detect and consume cancer cells. Pac-Man.
For those of you who have played Pac-Man, you may recall what happens when you advance and go after the bad guys. It seems like you go faster, trying to gobble up as many dots as possible, and the sounds change from bloop, 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 bloop to bloop, 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 which is kind of what is occurring in our bodies if we had sound effects. Is calling it Pac-Man that much more ridiculous than crab?
Mahalo nui for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time.